So first,
absolutely,
and I was like,
let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar. Yes.
And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also podcast on a lovely Friday night because, as Meredith and I just discussed before this, we are going to watch movies tonight, and it's going to be lovely.
We just
probably loving basketball.
We just giggled so hard before we even hit record, and this is why I love this podcast, because I just genuinely love talking to you.
It's just a giggle. It's just funny. It's
my God.
We at one point, we had full tears in our eyes. It was so fun. Then we were like, we should press record. Not that we won't do that already again, but
it happens off recording as well. This is just our life. We're just recording
I was eating apples and peanut butter, Meredith's like, what are you doing at night? And I was like, it's raining. I think I'm going to turn on a movie. And then we end up in tears.
Can we all agree that rain is the best because you can just do nothing?
I can't wait. And it's going to be nice all weekend. And I have plans all weekend. So this is the perfect excuse to be like, I have no plans tonight because it's raining.
I love that for you.
It's the best. Let's jump right in. I feel like I have a lot to talk about. Last week, Meredith had to hold this together. This week, I'm going to try and hold this together. But we all know I could talk to a brick wall, and so could she. So we'll see what happens. Meredith, let's start with small celebrations. Do you have anything to celebrate?
It's that perfect weather where you can just wear like a sweatshirt and shorts or even some leggings. Ooh. It's a little chillier, but I am a big crew neck sweatshirt fan, as I'm currently wearing one. And I love being able to just wear a sweatshirt and like no jacket. I just am starting to put away my jackets, which might be a little premature because I feel like if I do it, it's going to snow again. Even though it's May, people, I live in Chicago and it's possible. So I'm scared to jinx myself. So I took them off the hangers, but I'll put them away in like 2 weeks where like there's just no way it can snow in June.
I think there's just a lot of rain coming, right?
Yeah.
In Chicago, there shouldn't be because a lot of rain's coming in
New
York.
I know, but you know when you just know you're going to jinx yourself? I know, but I just feel like if I do it, it's going to be like, you know what? Never mind. You do deserve some snow in May.
Oh. Yeah, those are the guys.
So we're there, but I'm just, I'm just superstitious. So I've taken the coats off the hangers. We're ready to pack them away, but we won't do it probably for another week.
Amazing. Love that.
What about you?
God, I don't really have much. Today I got really cheap basketball tickets, and me and my friend are going to go to a few games in August.
That.
A different friend, his coworker bought season tickets to the New York Liberty. Yes, women's sports again only. And I was nervous because I signed up for 2 games and I was like, if you have season tickets, these games are probably expensive and you're going to want to make $1 off of them no matter who you sell them to. But each ticket was $45. And I was like,
Love
damn.
That.
And then I was like, I have this one friend that we always talk about going together because all of our other friends have fucking season tickets without us. So we're like, I guess we got to find some. So I texted her and I really like her. And I think she really likes me. She's not a new friend in New York, but sometimes she's so cool that sometimes I'm like, does she like me? Those friends.
Yeah.
They're hard to read, but I know she does like me because she always agrees to hang out. But then sometimes I'm like, I don't know if she likes me.
We question our own it's worth and value. It's like, do they actually like me? And it's like, no, we're fucking incredible.
Yeah, I get a little nervous. We're also just very opposite. She's very she's a lot more quiet, soft-spoken, reserved.
Those are the ones that stress me out the most because I'm am I being too much? Am I overbearing?
Yes. But I texted her today and I was like, hey, I got the tickets if you want to go to one or both of these games. And she's like, I'll go to both. I was
Love that.
Both.
You're like, you want to do 2 things with me? Scheduled ahead of time?
Right next to each other. I got to think of topics to talk about beforehand because I get nervous.
I'm dying.
But it'll be fun. So that's a fun win. Yeah, $45 a ticket.
Incredible. I love that. You're basically making money.
No, when she texted me that, I was like, give me all 4 tickets because it's 2 tickets, 2 games. I was like, give me them all. And if anything, I'll just eat the cost if someone can't go. Fuck.
Yeah, well, say you have to go alone, $90 just to go to a game? Nothing.
My God, the ticket to Chicago, and this might just be because it's Paige Beckers is playing in Chicago. My God, I paid upwards of $120, and I was like, fuck this. And I'm in the nosebleed. Now I'm going to be in section 102 for $45.
That's amazing. That's the beauty of season tickets. Like, you get that at cost and usually a slightly discounted rate.
Well, I'm so happy she's selling it at cost. I have a really good friend with season tickets, and I was like, dude, if you can't make any games, sell them to me. And she goes, yeah, but I want to sell them at the price. And I was like, don't sell them at the price, sell them at the cost.
I get wanting to do that a little bit to like make some of your money, but if you have friends that want to go, why not just let them in on the good cost?
I understand the good ones. Caitlin Clark, those tickets are going for over $1,000. Don't sell me those tickets. The Pagebackers, that's kind of crazy. They're going so high. But that's fine too. I get it. But give me your Washington Mystics tickets. Who the fuck wants to see them? Gimme.
That's what it is. I'm not asking you to give me the best game where you really can make some money and offset the cost of your own tickets. I just want to go to a game.
The New York Liberty is like one of the best teams anyway. Whoever they play, I'm going to have fun. So just gimme. But yeah, so $45. I got it.
But that's so exciting.
And I'm going with someone fun that I hope they like me. If she ever listens to this, she's literally going to be like, you're such a stalker. I'm going to be like, I know.
No, you're not. You're not a stalker for like wanting to hang out with people.
3.5 years, and I'm still like,
I thought you were about to say 3.5 months, and I was still going to defend your behavior. 3.5 years? You guys are actual friends.
We usually hang out in a group.
Oh, well.
Does that make a difference? This
is how you slowly become a one-on-one friendship. Yeah.
No, I'm so excited. Great. We're going to have so much fun. Anyway, what do we do now? News?
News. Do you want to go first?
Oh, You're on a roll. All right. In family news, it's nothing sad, but I've always, whatever I say on this podcast, I would say it to someone's face, and I got called out. So just to set the scene for our listener, I have a cousin, probably like 33, 34 years old, white male. I think that's important to distinguish.
I agree.
At Easter, someone brought up my podcast, which it wasn't just family. There was also other people. So I was like, please don't talk about it. But my cousin was like, hey, I'm going to support the fam. So he went to our podcast to look into it, I guess. Very nice. And he decided to listen to an episode titled For the Girls and the Gays.
For the Girls, Gays, and Theys.
For the Girls, Gays, and Theys. That's great.
Which was 6 months ago.
6 months ago. It was the post-election show that we did. So this episode wasn't for him, but I digress. Thank you so much for listening. Anyway, my mom told me I needed to be nice. Anyway, so last Friday, this is the best part. Last Friday, Meredith and I also recorded, but during the day, I got, not Hinge. I need my cousin. There we go. I clicked on his name, Hinge. That's not my cousin. It's different. Anyway, I got a message during the work day that said, for the record, I made about 90 last year. And I read this. My cousin never texts me. And I went, 90 for what? Like salary-wise? So confused. And he goes, EK, yeah. To which I respond, were we talking about this at Easter? Why don't I know why this is important? Right? So then he texts me while we're recording. I don't answer. I read it after, and I read it after, and he says, so on Easter, I heard you guys talking about your podcast. Obviously, I knew it wasn't going to be my cup of tea, obviously, but I wanted to listen to an episode or two just for the sake of supporting the fam. So I was scrolling through, and your post-election episode caught my eye for the girls, the gays, the theys. So just to set the record straight, I didn't vote for Trump. I make a lot more than $70K. Put on blast for a vote I never post. That'll be the last time I ever put any energy into giving a shit about you. To which I went, oh my God, that is so funny that I've been caught. So then I went back, and Meredith went back, and we listened, because I was like, what is on the record? Because I didn't think I said anything that bad. But for him to end this with, that'll be the last time I ever put any energy into giving a shit about you.
Yeah, I was like,
I was like fighting words. So we listened. And what I said was, I have a cousin who probably voted for Trump, right? And I was like, I didn't know. For the record,
and here's the correction.
He didn't. I found out later at Thanksgiving, he did not vote for Trump. But also for the record, he didn't vote for Kamala. So apologies on that. But when I was on my rant, I was like, and it sucks he probably did vote for Trump because he makes about $70K, so these tariffs are going to fucking kill him, and he works in manufacturing. So, like...
Here's the correction on that. He makes $90K, everybody.
90 last year, could be more now. So, correct that. I, though, stand by everything else I said. It really wasn't that bad. And it was more, he did mention that he felt like I was coming after blue collar workers, which wasn't it. We clearly said, if you don't have a college degree, that's fine. But like, however you're learning about these things, like, because it's
important to learn about it. Like, you can't just, if you're voting uneducated, that's what scared us the most, is a lot of people did, because we heavily talked about how after the election, people were Google searching, what is a tariff? And that bothered us immediately.
Also, everything has shown, people without a college degree were more likely to vote for Donald Trump.
Very true.
So I was like, I did say he doesn't. It's a fact. He doesn't have a college degree, and he did take 5 years to graduate high school. So he doesn't like school, and that's fine. I'm not here to yuck your yum. Which you did say,
like, no shame on the 5 years.
No shade, right? So then I responded back. I laughed, and then I was like, I've been called. I'll own it. But I did say, like, I don't remember this. And then I did listen. And I did ask, are you sure it's you that I was talking about? I was going to listen last week. I was kind of over it. But he then said, like, yeah, whatever. And how I clowned him for not having a business degree. But then he said, here's what I think.
Wait, no. I clowned my dad for not having a business degree and being uneducated about tariffs. Like, and he's educated. So it's not about not having a business degree. It's that I do. So I understand these things, but people won't listen to us when we know what we're talking about.
And I've said this to both my parents. I always feel if my cousin wants to listen to this apology, that's not really an apology, here it is. I always feel very dismissed by my dad's side of the family. I don't want to talk about business in my free time at the Christmas dinner table. That's just not my vibe. It's my job is my job. And then my hobbies do not include that. Do I like watching reality TV and like doing things for the girls? Of course. I love that. But if you were to actually like listen to me and like hear me, I'm very smart. I've always been thankful enough to have a job, but I work really hard at it and I'm really good at it. And I feel like people are always like, is she sure she knows what she's talking about? Dude, my dad was the business king. He had me under HR review every year growing up. I know what to do in business. But that being said, I'm going to flaunt my business degree because I did work hard and I am educated for it. But then my cousin goes, I'm fairly certain I know exponentially more about finance than you do about anything in my world. So sorry.
But I never claimed to.
Yeah, but also here's my thing. I don't claim to know your field at all, but how are you going to say you know more about my field when you're not in it? That's offensive right there. But like, believe whatever you want. I'm the one that works in finance and you're not. So shrug. Anyway, he says, I think we should come up with 20 questions each about our fields. And if I can answer more finance questions than you with manufacturing questions, then you have to admit on your podcast that I'm educated and you simply have credentials. If you win, I'll promise you and your listeners right there that you can choose my vote in 28. I'll check whatever box you want.
That's not what this is about. That's ridiculous. I'm actually going to get fired up, so I'm going to refrain from commenting.
Here's the thing. I did get fired up reading this, mostly because I actually do have a background in manufacturing. I worked in inventory accounting for about 4 to 5 years, so I do know. But the thing is, like, what am I going to ask you? Like, theoretical finance questions? And what are you going to ask me? Machinery questions? That's not where my background is. If we want to talk picking and packing, if we want to talk FIFO versus LIFO, like whatever, I could do all that. I can talk about the cost versus the price and profit margins, but like the fuck? And you're not going to come on my girly podcast and bring your male energy and try and debate me.
That's the thing. This is just becoming something that it's not.
It's not a pissing contest.
And it was never about that.
Yeah, I think that's what men miss is like, this isn't a pissing contest, you know?
No.
But whatever. So I simply said, like, look, I honestly don't care enough. Even if he did beat me, supposedly, that doesn't mean anything. I still have my business job and my business degree. Because the best part is, right, sadly, he can't have my job because it requires my accounting degree specifically. But he could know more about, I don't know,
anything,
stocks. But if I ask him a question like, what's the depreciation of land? He's going to be like, like, what would my question even be? So I was like, I don't even have time to think of these questions. So I basically said, look, like, sorry your feelings were hurt. I hurt your feelings. And I get that. And I'm sorry that happened. Like, I'm not going to have you on my podcast. You're welcome to come on if you want, but I'm not going to debate you.
Sorry.
I'm not going to answer your questions.
That's not the point of this.
You're unwelcome. But I think saying, I'm genuinely sorry for hurting your feelings really set him off. Because then he said, it's cool. I don't need an apology. Context doesn't come through well on text. I'm just trying to set up an argument because I love arguing. And I went, you don't even know anything. You're just going to, even if you get the wrong answer, you're just going to argue again.
He is, I feel like, proving exactly how we speak about men correctly on this show.
I won this in the end. I will say, though, I called before he texted back. Before, when I really just thought, like, I said something bullshit, I called my parents and I was like, I gotta own it up. I've made family drama and this is on me. My dad was cracking up. He's like, why is he listening to your podcast? My mom was like, just claim it wasn't him. You were talking about, just be like, it wasn't you.
God. Again, I want to reiterate, this was 7 months ago when that episode came out. So
Meredith
he had to dig.
No joke.
I was at the airport when Alicia was texting me about this, and I was like, let me go find this episode. Like, the fuck is he talking about?
He does, though, want me to mention a woman named Christine Fisher to talk about her. She needs to be amplified. So Christine Fisher is a skilled angler, to which I've learned is a fisherman, a competitive fisherman of sorts, which that's cool. But he said we should talk about her because she deserves more respect in the sport.
She's all in for women's sports. Welcome to our podcast now.
He's never heard of an interview where she was being interviewed by a woman. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then then he goes on to, and I think this is an exact quote we should have. I'm not saying you're necessarily going to be able to get her on the show, but it just blows my mind away. She's very pretty, and men are pretty focused on her skills. It's like everything feminists said they wanted, and women are completely unaware of her. I think that's just more because women usually aren't brought into sports world, specifically competitive fishing. We're not very
I was about to say, I think fishing is less frequented by women, which we could dive into why that is. And then also, yes, women are less
sports
highlighted.
in general.
Yeah. And we could dive into that.
Dive into that. If he requests that episode, if he's unsatisfied by my apology, we can do a full episode on women in sports.
I would love to have him on for that. I'm not here to debate manufacturing versus accounting fields. I'm out. You put me 6 feet under.
But I then tried to make a joke, and I said, wow, a fisherman named Fisher. Or I said, Christine Fisher is a fisher? That's fun. To which he goes, it's not a gimmick. And I was like, I didn't think it was. I just think it's
ironic.
Is it a stage name or is it real? It's
good
very cool.
question.
So I don't think we need to blame the women for not knowing about Christine Fisher. I think it's more the patriarchy who set up women to not pay attention to sports, specifically fishing. But
it's the system that's not promoting her. Because if we're promoting men's fishing, like, let's promote women's.
And who built the system?
Men.
Anyway, but I am sorry for insinuating he probably voted for Trump. He did not. He voted for neither one of the main candidates. He voted for some independent.
You're also sorry for getting his salary wrong.
I'm sorry about that. It's DK last year. Who knows what he's doing this year?
We're not going to comment.
We're not going to comment. So,
and we're sorry for hurting your feelings.
So sorry for hurting your feelings. It's so nice when people have feelings. Even if they get hurt, at least they're acknowledging their feelings.
This is the space for feelings.
A man with feelings.
Big feelings.
Oh my god, I can't tell you.
We're gonna make this worse.
Man, I'm never gonna hear the end of this. I have to change families. Anyway.
I think you're gonna have to play this every time you walk into family events.
God.
I'm gonna have to call my dad and tell him about this. Maybe I should shit talk my family more and have them listen.
Family, if my family listens, we have a lawyer ready, so you can't sue me. Okay?
Yeah.
So Meredith's dad's a lawyer and he helps us with a lot of things. You'd be surprised. So,
well, let's not give him too much credit.
If you want to kick me out of the family, that's fine. But legally, you can't do anything to me. Legally, I'm safe. I'll switch families. Bye. Anyway.
Oh my God.
No, my parents were very supportive of me. My dad couldn't stop laughing that my cousin was listening to For the Girls.
Well, they support women's rights and wrongs.
And wrongs. Anyway, so that's number one on my news.
Love. Let's move on to
do your news. Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of correcting things, did you see that Linda McMahon's letter to Harvard? Harvard responded and completely edited her letter because she had so many grammar and like English errors.
No, wait. Who is this? Tell me everything. I don't know anything.
Linda McMahon is, I believe, the Secretary of Education or whatever that title is. And right now there's like potentially a lawsuit. I think there's either a lawsuit or going to happen between the government.
You're on Harvard's side.
Yes. And so,
I do know about that.
He who shall not be named is going to pull funding. But in the midst of all of that, Linda McMahon sent a letter to Harvard, basically trying to scold them for their behavior. And Harvard,
bad boys.
Harvard released the letter with it written up with all the like grammar and English edits, and it is just covered. It is like so funny. Like she was like shaming them about like not being like prestigious enough that they don't offer, I think, like a basic maths class. And it's like, hey babe, did you even take one English class in your life?
Well, isn't this fun? This educational, what is it? The Secretary of Education?
Yeah. Like, come on.
That's just fun. That is a fun game for Harvard to do. Do you know how hard it is to get into Harvard? I bet you if we asked her, the Secretary of Education, she didn't go to Harvard.
No, she didn't. And also,
I bet she didn't go anywhere. I bet she also doesn't have a college degree.
You know what I thought about is I was like, I would be pissed if I was in the English department and didn't get selected to write up that letter. Yeah, like
sure.
The competition to be able to, just say F you to that woman.
They should have had the students do it as a project.
Yeah.
Right? Extra credit. Hey, we're going to edit this letter and then we'll send it back to the government. We'll post it everywhere first. Yeah. And then the students, to get even more credit, they have to rewrite it properly.
Ooh.
Maybe use some different words. I imagine her vocabulary is probably pretty small. So maybe we could spice it up.
She tried to use some big words and like incorrectly.
Rough.
She had capitalization errors. She had spacing errors.
She write it? Was it handwritten?
I don't know. It was typed. So like maybe somebody in our office did, but still, like she even had a run-on sentence in there. Like it was bad.
It's rough. How many commas you use? I love when it's a colon versus semicolon. Do you know? Come on. Oh, that's fun. That's a good one. Piggybacking off of you, Trump and the governor of Maine, if you remember.
Yes.
They had some words because Trump was basically like, you better do as I say.
You better.
And this governor said, see you in court. And guess what? She did. Janet T. Mills, she did see him in court.
And didn't she win?
What? She won.
Hell yeah.
Government funding's not leaving Maine.
We love.
Oops, sorry. So small wins everywhere. Go Harvard.
Well, not just wins, like embarrassing.
No, it's so embarrassing.
In the win.
It's so embarrassing. And like the amount of time this now president had to like fight one of the states, he could have been getting educated, but obviously he's busy. We all know he loves a courtroom. That guy, 34 felonies, I think, loves it. Loves a courtroom.
I mean, I did see that this government wants to remove even citizens if they
they are
have criminal records, and so
no,
I'm like,
isn't that fun?
That's fine. Let's remove our president.
Great.
Like he's a criminal. Bye bye.
Yeah, that's amazing. Let's do that.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
No, they're also detaining people at the airport. That's fun. That's
my God.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of fun. U.S. citizens also, so.
Yes. I'm going to need a burner phone the next time I leave this country because
no, truly.
I heavily am against
talk shit. Yeah, no, for sure. They're going to pull up this podcast and be like, I said what I said.
I'm going to have to give an apology like you did to your family, to the government.
No, we're not apologizing. I said
no, I know, but that's the vibe. It's like going around. It's like, hey.
They do a press conference and they're like, nobody with a podcast talked some shit on the president.
Here's every episode you talk shit in, and it's literally the last 500.
I can't remember a time I didn't. Because I think when we started this podcast, he was president the first time. So
he was.
Shrug to you, my guy. If I remember correctly, we even recorded on election night. That was fun things.
Oh my God.
But just for the record, for everyone, I don't think if you do get detained, you do not have to show them your phone or anything. I don't know what happens after that, but you're not required to.
You know what? It's tricky. It's tricky because
it is tricky.
I think the airport rules are different than your like everyday walking around this country rules. So
of course.
I would say everybody look it up. Just so everybody know your rights is always what I advocate for.
My God. I would literally just be annoyed. I'd be honestly, yeah, I talked shit. What now? Are you gonna send me off?
That used to be like
now?
A right we had. We used to have all these rights and now they don't want us to have them.
Well, we're only allowed to talk badly about people doing good things for the country. The governor of Maine, we could probably talk badly about her. And
yeah. I was like, what do you mean? Because they would think that they're doing good things. We're only allowed to talk shit against the enemies of the state, quote unquote.
They know they're not doing good things. I think.
That's what I can't tell, Alicia. That's what I can't tell. I cannot tell. There's some people I know like are the bad people and they know that they're the bad people, but there's some where I'm like, I don't know. Because with the Pope being elected, our Chicagoan Pope, welcome everybody. I will never let this leave my body after being a cradle Catholic and us talking about it so many times.
Wish I cared.
Have you seen that some of the Republicans hate this guy because he has like 5 tweets in the last year and like 2 of them are against this administration and some retweets
shout out Pope.
He's great.
I'm on your side.
He hates JD Vance. We love back-to-back popes hating him.
Crazy to have 2 popes hate you. Like, I haven't done anything Catholic in years, and the popes still don't hate me.
No, that means been
that's crazy.
Catholic for 6 years, and 2 out of the 3 popes that 2 out of 2 of the popes that he has had hate him.
That's crazy. Put that on his tombstone. Hated by 2 popes.
These Republicans out there, I mean, not all of them, but there are some of them.
Do they hate the Pope now?
They're calling him the Antichrist. Some Catholic Republicans are calling him the Antichrist.
You can't talk shit on the Pope.
I know. Even I wouldn't do that, and I'm not a practicing Catholic.
No, same. Never.
Even if he was like a super conservative Pope, I'd be like, man, I really wish he didn't treat people like that. But like, I still respect him.
I'll say overarching, I don't like the Catholic Church, but never would I come for the Pope.
Because like
the Pope. Pope's the closest person to God. Do you guys not know that? Were you all converted? Do you not know that? Is that why?
Just in case this is all real, I'm not dogging on the person closest to God on this land. Like
another difference between people who were raised Catholic and people who converted into Catholicism.
Yes.
It does not matter if it's honestly the Antichrist himself becomes the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, JD Vance could become the Pope, and then I go, my mouth stays shut then, because the Pope that's crazy. The Catholic guilt you do not have means you are not Catholic. To talk shit on the Pope, that's crazy.
I'm like, oh, we're really in like the bad place. Like we really are in this like alternate universe where these Catholics are dogging on the Pope. That's crazy.
That's great. You're not real Catholics. I'm barely a real Catholic, but you're not. We can't accept you. And to
get out of here. Then.
What does your congregation say?
I don't know.
Because if I even heard anyone in our congregation be like, I won't even say it, but talk badly about the Pope, I would be like, sir. Don't come near me. How are you going to accept the body and blood of Jesus Christ with that mouth?
Good point. You can no longer receive communion.
Boy, you're going to hell, my guy.
Like, I always thought it was crazy that people divorced wouldn't take communion in my church, but like these people calling the Pope the Antichrist. Ooh,
whoa!
Don't even step foot. That's a body that's going to burn in church for sure.
Listen, we are not a Catholic podcast, but we love the Pope. Doesn't matter
especially this one. I love this one.
This Pope. Hell yeah.
My Chicago Pope, I'm in.
Hell yeah. My mom was thrilled last night. She called me. She's like, "Did you see? She's the Chicago Pope."
Something I saw last night on TikTok was the Pope's brothers giving interviews. I never thought about the Pope having a family.
The Pope had? I thought the Pope was so old his family died. Why did I think that?
I have never thought about the Pope having a family.
I thought the Pope was like a priest where you just weren't.
Your family doesn't exist anymore.
Mothers and fathers. Yeah.
You just exist on this earth somehow.
The Pope has a brother. Can I follow him on Instagram?
Two. One in Chicago, one in Florida, and they both gave interviews. And the Chicago guy...
How do they vote? Do they vote differently? One's in Florida.
I don't know. We didn't get into that. But I watched the Chicago one because I was like, got to, boots on the ground in my
neighbor.
City. Yeah. And he was like, there's false news out there that he's a Cubs fan. Don't worry, he's not. Yep. He's a Sox fan. Like, my mom's family was like Cubs fans, so he has always gone against the grain. And our dad was a Cardinals fan. And people in the comments are like, so funny he's not like a fan of the Cardinals since he is like a Cardinal. And I'm like, that's hilarious.
Oh, that's
like,
great.
But I was like, yep, that guy's a Sox fan. We love him.
Yeah. Someone, I think because they were like, Pope from Chicago, edited a Chicago Cubs hat onto the Pope's head, to which that's what sparked that interview. Because my mom called, because we're a Chicago White Sox house.
Yeah.
And she was like, and guess what? The Pope's Southside, baby, born and raised. The Pope is Southside. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Like, insane.
Pope could be my brother. We both root for the same team. Because that's a dividing thing in Chicago. That could make or break families.
Oh my God, yeah. I always ask people because I'm a Cardinals fan, so I need somebody who's a Sox fan. Like, I can't have a Cubs fan.
Does the Pope have to move to Italy now?
He'll live in Italy.
How's he going to get the games? Can we stream them for him?
I bet he can. You know what, ESPN Plus, I bet.
The Vatican's decked out in gold. They got...
Yeah, they can sell something to afford it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's decked in gold.
Or, like, he can just, like, log in with his, like, family's account. Like, I'll give him my account if he really needs it.
I was going to say, if he wants to password share, I'm open.
I'll happily password share with the Pope.
That's crazy. The Pope has a family. There has a mom and a dad and a brother. How old is this? How old's the new Pope?
He's 70, I believe, like 69 or 70.
So maybe he doesn't currently have an alive mother or father.
His mother's not alive. His mom is not alive, I don't believe.
Don't know about dad, and that's fine.
I don't know anything about dad. The photo I saw of them when they were younger was just mom and brothers outside of like the Catholic church they grew up going to.
What's crazy? Like, what if you're in Chicago, you go to the bar, someone's like, hey,
Pope rolls up?
No. Even better. You get to chatting with the person next to you and he's like, yeah, my brother just got a cool new job. And you're like, what's your brother do? And he's like, he's the Pope.
Alicia.
The way I would pass out and be like, your tab is on me now. Tell me about your brother,
Listen to
the
this.
Pope.
I think this was the Chicago brother. Watch Conclave this weekend to see what would happen.
He's rooting for he's having Hunger Games.
Was doing like the Wordle when the announcement came out, and then they say his name, and he knew because his like government
Pope name
is Robert. No, his original name is like Robert, I believe. So they said something like Robert, and he immediately knew. He was like, it has to be my brother. Like, there's no way. But they really didn't think it would be him because he's American. Mm-hmm. He's American. Young. I'm gonna put that in quotes, but for the like
he's 70,
Cardinals,
he's young. He could be the longest standing Pope. Honestly. He could make it to like 100. He could be a Pope for 30 years.
I don't know any of the Pope history, but I love this
Pope,
guy.
It was Pope Francis that just passed?
Yeah.
The Pope before that was around for a while, and he was decrepitly old.
No. That guy stepped down. The one before Francis. He was like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's the first time we've ever had two popes alive at the same time. That guy died, though.
Oh, you're right. Pope Pope John Paul. Remember that guy?
Yes,
so we've had two before. Okay, so
yes.
Oh, Pope John Paul was around for a while.
Yes, he was he was old.
He was around for almost 30 years. He was around for 27.
He was beloved.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I remember growing up with Pope John Paul. And then we had Pope Benedict, which he was around for a long time, but I don't remember him, honestly.
He quit, though. He was like, I don't want to do this. And nobody's ever quit being Pope. So, like...
And then Pope Francis was beloved. I loved Pope Francis. So I'm excited for Pope Leo the... Oh, God, I don't know.
Is it XVI or XIV?
XIV.
That's,
Pope Leo the 14th. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Pope Robert. You know what? I'm so on board with this. I'm so excited. If the Pope's brother ever wants to come on our podcast, we would love to talk about Catholicism with you.
One last thing about the Pope in this administration, because this will round out this whole discussion, is somebody was like, listen, if you're willing to call him, Pope like Leo, you understand preferred names. Like, that's not his government names. You understand preferred names.
I'm
like,
blown.
You got me
I'm
there.
still blown. People are talking shit about the Pope of all people.
I mean, over on Twitter. So, like, what can you expect?
Listen, the incels are outs and abouts.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever talks, you know how we talk about shitty men can either be put into the category of losers or weirdos? If you're talking shit on the Pope, you're a weirdo, and you better stay 10 feet away from me. You better... No, because a loser, like a Nick Vial, I would still sit down with him. I would just hate him. And I would it would burn my blood. Right? He ever asked me on his podcast, I'm coming to destroy. Of course. The weirdos I want nothing to do with. That fucking, you're going to talk shit on the Pope? Don't come near me. Because I've put in a lot of work. And if it comes to it, I better be going to heaven. And so I can't associate with you.
Okay, I promise this is the last thing about the Pope. Somebody was like, what he should do? He should run for presidency because...
No, literally, you're going to vote against the Pope? You're not a real Catholic. Even the Jews and Muslims would totally vote for the Pope.
I know. Like...
Me? Oh my God.
Can you imagine a church being like, you have to vote against the Pope because he's not like MAGA enough?
I've never had like Catholic things in my room. Like some people have like the sign of the cross in their home. I never kept it in my room. I think my mom had, I don't know, a cross somewhere. I would frame and hang up a picture of this Pope.
Yeah.
I would do it.
I'm in. I'm sold.
I could never do anything bad in my house again, because then God knows.
What bad shit are you up to where you're like,
well, I can't have a visitor.
Here's the thing.
You can't have a visitor then.
You can't be more hated than JD Vance. So, like,
No, you're right. 2 popes? Crazy. 2 popes? Woof. That's a bad day.
Dying. But yeah, that's the Pope.
Okay, let me give you some more news. Okay. This was hilarious. So, the Met Gala just happened on Monday.
Oh my God. Loved it.
But I would like to say, everyone was very like, what's everyone going to wear? I was on New York Met Gala, and here's what the discussion was. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The Met Gala was happening, but also the New York Knicks, I believe it was the Knicks, are in the NBA playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So 2 big things happening. And here's where the question came into debate. Timothée Chalamet, New Yorker, loves the Knicks, has gone to games. He freaks out. He loves it. Is dating Kylie Jenner, who is a staple at the Met Gala. So everyone was like, what is Timothy gonna do? And I was like, no, literally, what is Timothy gonna do?
That's a really hard decision.
Chalamet.
I get that, because they also haven't had the red carpet debut. So I understand if they had been planning this for months to make that their red carpet debut.
He's like, listen, babe, the Knicks have a game.
The Knicks
that
are calling. Yeah.
And you can't watch the Knicks on your phone.
At the Met Gala. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You can barely take a selfie in the bathroom.
No, terrible. So I was tuning in for what will Timothée Chalamet do. He did end up watching the Knicks game, but the best part is, listen, if my team is in the NBA, WNBA, whatever, is in the playoffs, and they're going to win, and oh my God, it's a big deal, I am making sure it's on the big screen. I'm focused. I'm watching everything. That's another reason. Even if we were just outs and abouts, not at the Met Gala, I don't want to watch it on my phone. I need something. He watched it with a bunch of people around an iPad.
I thought he was at the game. He watched it on an iPad?
I think he watched it. There was a video of him watching it on an iPad.
Oh my God, my guy.
Either way, he's very rich. He should not be watching any game on an iPad.
Dude, you could buy a,
TV for
portable,
the day.
A portable, projector at that rate.
No, literally. And Kylie did go to the Met Gala, so he went, babe, he returned my Met Gala clothes.
You can't return it, it's custom, but...
Keep them for a different day, it looks like, because I'm going to the Knicks. And then I was like, do you think she'd be mad, or do you think she gets it? Because Timothy, listen, this taught all of us that at the end of the day, he's going to pick the Knicks over Kylie. And that's okay.
No,
and that's okay.
But I think that she is probably chill in this relationship.
I think
because,
she got
that's his vibe where...
Yeah. He's a known New Yorker. He's a known Knicks fan.
I don't think he would be with her if she would like make a stink over him doing something that is a once in a lifetime thing. I mean, not
the
once in a
fact
lifetime.
That this was a discussion shows you how much New York was counting on Timothée Chalamet.
No, I loved that.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So it's fun.
My God.
Do you want me to keep with? I have more sports, but women's sports drama.
Yes, please go in.
I got drama. Listen.
Wait,
the
okay.
WNBA is crazy. Okay, let me tell you. Where do I start? Okay, so preseason has begun. I started watching, and then I was like, these games don't like to count for anything. So I'm just watching. Like,
I have a hard time with preseason.
Yeah, I've started only watching certain games to see how the rookies like move into the team. Like I'm not, if I don't know the rookies, I don't really care.
I have a question too. So, because last episode we talked about how you kind of like are trying out for the team, I'll say, like even if you were drafted, you're not guaranteed on the roster. So right now, are they in their locked roster or are they still waiting to come out with the roster?
We're still waiting. The season does not start until May 10th.
It's just before the season starts. Like when that season starts, that's when they lock it and they turn people.
Lots of times. Okay. Players are still getting waived and being picked up by other teams, but it's 12 roster spots per team. And a lot of teams, if you have like a veteran, you can get like, okay, if I'm on, I don't know, this actually happened. So a player on the LA Sparks, right? She was traded to Dallas, but in her contract, she goes, I'm guaranteed a roster spot. So she can't be cut. So a lot of good players, like the veterans aren't going to get cut, so it makes it even more cutthroat for these rookies.
Yeah, because but they're not. You're paring it down to less and less spots to compete for.
So, just on that note, one of my favorite rookies from this year, Cheyenne Sellers, I want to give her a shout out specifically too because the WNBA has disrespected this woman multiple times, and I'm still upset about it. At the draft, she got interviewed by two people hired by the WNBA. They said her the wrong name. They didn't call her Cheyenne. They called her like Alicia or something. I don't remember.
What?
But then Cheyenne, there were two girls, two interviewers. The other girl shook her head and was like, no. And the first girl was like, oh, sorry, wrong card. Meredith, if we were interviewing anyone, we're doing faces and names. We're doing pictures. We have to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rely on my cards if they get messed up to not know your name. That's embarrassing. But then they had her introduce herself. So she goes, I'm Cheyenne Sellers. Embarrassing. And then the second girl didn't even call her Cheyenne. They called her a different S name when they asked her a question. So the disrespect, she was supposed to go in the first round. She didn't get picked up until the second round, like deep in the second round. Wait, but that's even
crazier. Like she is projected to go to the first round and you don't know her name?
She was invited to the draft. So she had a full table with her
parents,
That tells
me you didn't do your research and didn't take this seriously.
That's crazy, right? So she was supposed to go first round. She didn't go until the second round. I was really for her because I was like, what the fuck? She got drafted to the Valkyries, which is a brand new fucking team. They have 0 players basically. And she got waived by them. And I was like, it's not that she doesn't even mesh with the players. You barely have any players. Why are you waiving her before she even played a preseason game?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So then the coach put out a statement and was like, she did everything right. She's just not right for this team. And people were like, but you didn't even play a game with her. You just saw her shoot around in practice.
That's like saying it's not you, it's me. It's like me. When you're dating. Yeah. Like, what?
But she did get picked up by the Atlanta Dream. So I think we all need to become Dream fans. Let's root for Cheyenne Sellers. She's really good. She's a 6'2" point guard. That
makes me so sad that like she's
the disrespect.
Just back to back disrespect.
Another person that got waived, her name's Bree Hall. She's a rookie. She did get waived after a preseason game, though, which I think is more fair. Let them play. And we can talk about Indiana's team in a little bit because it's kind of stacked. But she is now making TikToks of her, like, waiting around, being, like, waiting for another team to call, which is very funny. That's hilarious.
Because I got into a like sports TikToker family because they were dealing with that. Like, and it's really fun to see. Like, it was in the NFL, but, like, it's really interesting to see the behind the scenes of a sport that you don't normally get to see that stuff. Like, that's the really nice thing about social media is you get a peek behind the curtain into people's lives and showcasing, like, hey, other people are going, like, kind of the expected path. Like, I'm walking a different path, and that's unique, and it's really fun to showcase those type of stories.
But I'm rooting for Bree Hall. She was at South Carolina, so she won a national championship, I think. Pretty sure she was on that team. So that's great. But okay, so I did watch some preseasons game. I watched the Indiana Fever game.
Okay.
Which is Caitlin Clark's team. And listen, Caitlin Clark's great. She's a great athlete. Truly amazing. Though when I was watching the game, there was this one player who got picked up from the Phoenix Mercury and is now on the Indiana Fever. And the way she played the game, I've never seen this woman play before. And I was like, there's something that's rubbing me the wrong way. I couldn't explain it. I was just like, the way she got into 2 different fights with 2 different people back to back, the way she like attacked these people after, because the foul was like, she got fouled, but the way she stood up and puffed her chest out after, I was kind of like, I don't know, man. There was something that rubbed me the wrong way. Her name is Sophie Cunningham. And so I was like, weird. So I look her up on Instagram, and she's just like this blonde woman, but something is rubbing me the wrong way. Well, then TikTok informs me her nickname is MAGA Barbie. So weird. And the 2 players she got in fights with were black. Not that matters, but that matters maybe. So I don't. Oh my God. And I understand it's hard because like, okay, that's your like teammate. Like, what do? You professionally have to work with this person. Yeah. But I can't in good conscience like root for this player because even before I knew all this, she like really rubbed me the wrong way.
Damn.
So, I hate her, I think.
That's so disappointing. Why do people have to be terrible? Like,
no, literally.
It takes a lot of effort to be a terrible person.
No, literally. Listen, this is WNBA talk. Ready? And allegedly, this is all alleged. Don't sue me. Caitlin Clark gained a lot of fans, rightfully so. But she was kind of pinned against Angel Reese in her college years, which people, the racists, loved because they hate Angel Reese, right? Yes. They were calling her a villain. It was so terrible. It's not fair. And Caitlin Clark didn't really come out and say much about it until recently. And I mean, she always said, like, I have no beef with Angel, and you're not responsible for your fan base. I think we've talked about this. But I think, like, in a way, in where we are in society in America, I think it says a lot when players do speak up, specifically white players who have a privilege. Yeah. Which is where, like, I think Paige Beckers is just...
I saw a comment she made recently because she was like, I acknowledge I have way more privilege and opportunities, and I would be foolish to think that didn't play into a lot of my successes because, like, brands want to work with me, and there is a racial bias behind this, and just the opportunities I get because of the way I look. And I love that when people, like, acknowledge the leg up. Like, it doesn't make you a worse person or like take anything away from your success or how hard you have worked. It's just an acknowledgement that you got to start 10 steps ahead of somebody else.
Exactly. But just to give her flowers, she doesn't just like speak on it. She actually does stuff about it. Her little brother is black. Her dad remarried a black woman and now she's a half black brother. She has for years always said, like, when do you stop seeing my little brother as cute and start seeing him as a threat? She fully supported the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020 as an 18-year-old. And then when she was 19, she won an Epsie and dedicated her whole speech to how she plays a game that was built off the backs of black women and how she named a bunch. Like, for a 19-year-old to recognize that and go on, and she still pours all her money into community. She gives a lot of money back to lower income areas so that they have more opportunities. She's constantly putting her money where her mouth is. And I got to give it to her. She will not stop. I don't know if it's, obviously I think she like really believes it, but then also to like so clearly speak on it in media, I think is a talent in itself. So flowers where it's necessary. On Paige, she did play her first Dallas game. She started. Cheers. I think a lot of people are being harsh on her. It was a rough game. Listen, she went from playing with 18 to 2-year-olds to now playing with full-grown women. Okay, you got to give her...
Who have been in this league for years, too.
Years. Also, Paige is skinny. That girl is tiny, tiny. She's gonna get hit on a few screens, and she got the wind knocked out of her on one play. She fully bent over, Meredith. She was like,
woof. This is kind of might be a little mean of me to say, but I do enjoy the transition of people who go from like college to professionals to be like, listen, you used to be everything in your league, but like, welcome to the big leagues here, babe. Like, this is for real here.
they always say that you have your welcome to the W moment, right? And Paige, she said, she was like, man, I got hit and the wind was just knocked out. And everyone's now like, oh, she's not as good as Caitlin Clark. I hate the comparison of those two. But here's the thing. Caitlin got rocked by fucking screens too. Yeah. They might play different, but she's just as skinny as Paige is. But Caitlin Clark hadn't done an off season and she got jacked in her off season because she was like, I got hit. So you just need to give Paige an off season, man.
That's the thing. Also, women's sports get less time in between their seasons to be able to focus on building your muscles up and like dedicating.
She just won a natty a month ago. She's already now playing. Yeah.
Because when you're a professional athlete and getting paid for it, you have the time and resources to, and not that she didn't have that, like she had the money probably to like pay a professional trainer, but you have a school doing it for you. But that's not the same as having dedicated one-on-one people to train you every day and like watch your nutrition and like hire a chef for you. That's what you get to do when you're in the pros and like really dedicated on your body, because that is your working vessel. But she doesn't have the time to do that. She's going to do that in the off season next year. That's the bad thing about the women's sports timing.
Give her, listen, she was tiny out there. We all saw it, but give her a minute. She still scored like 8 to 10 points. She had a few assists, which is really good. Great. Y'all also stop pissing me off comparing Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers. They play a very different game.
Well, like, let's just stop comparing women. Like, everybody is so different. Like, why do we need to like judge people against somebody else's benchmarks? Like, why not judge them against their own?
I mean, on judging them, though, Paige will never have as many points as Caitlin. Paige is a playmaker. She's going to get her team open and get them the ball. Her strength, and she's going to defend. She's going to block shots. She's going to get large. That's not where Caitlin's strengths lie. Caitlin's going to hit the logo 12 times in a row. Paige is going to make sure her team's open.
Now. Like, you're cracking me up. You are just like on. You're like, da-da-da.
Anyway, I'll shut up. But that was
great. No, don't. I love it. You're like, you're so into it. And I just don't think people respect how much you love this. And I do even if it's not their, like, I don't watch women's basketball like the amount you do, but I love hearing about it because you're so passionate about it and tuned in. Yeah. Never stop.
If I could wish any talent, like a genie was like when I was a child, I would have wished to be better at basketball. I just sucked. And it wasn't, even if you're like, oh, you're
also short. So like, you needed height.
I was fucked from the beginning. But like, I always loved it. The day I got cut from my high school team, that was like the saddest day of my life.
That was Alicia's villain origin story.
Yeah, that's when I became
She had to become funny.
Rough. I needed a personality then. But on page 2, doing a lot for mental health, I found this kind of sad. We're going to get a little sad, but it's beautiful at the end. So she was in Time magazine. She opened up about how this past college year, she worked very heavily with a sports psychologist. Because a lot came from the comparison to other players, cough, cough, Caitlin Clark, that the media portrayed. And she said, like, after that Final Four loss she had last year, she couldn't break through. Like, I guess she just started sobbing one day and was like, I just want to win. I just wanted the win. So the day before the natty, she called her psychologist in tears, being like,
that's so
I don't
stressful.
know how to do this. The anxiety really got to her, but now she's advocating, like, it is hard. You just have to, comparison is what does she say? Comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah. So she's like really working through it, but it's not easy, especially these kids don't even have fully formed frontal
lobes. I follow, I don't know if you ever heard of her. Her name's Victoria Garrick Brown. That's her like married name. And she played volleyball at USC and started she's probably like 2 or 3 years younger than us, started a nonprofit for mental health, especially in college athletes, called the Hidden Opponent. And she's a really big advocate of mental health anyways, and just being like really real. She has a podcast called Real Pod. She doesn't filter her photos. Like, she often shows her body in resting forms and then like posed forms, so you can kind of like see the difference. But she's really big in mental health with sports. And we never played college sports. I can only imagine
couldn't
what that
even
would
play
be
high
like.
school. Yeah.
But it's so like powerful to watch her in that space. Like, she has a collab with Adidas. Like, it's finally getting really good recognition. But you saying that about Paige makes me think about that influencer, because I just see her on she like goes and speaks to a lot of colleges and different sports teams and like speaks about mental health. And I just like love that people are talking about it. I mean, like it's becoming normalized just in normal society. So I'm happy it's like infiltrating into sports too, because I can't imagine the amount of pressure on your shoulders to keep up with everything in like a normal season. But then you go to one of the biggest stages of your career and all you want to win it is like for yourself, but then you have your teammates and you have your entire school who's rooting for you. You have the whole fan base watching. Like, the spotlight on women's sport is amazing, but the pressure that adds to it is crazy, because this got really big overnight. Like, I feel like it went from a 180 from like they're playing in all their colleges and it's not getting much airtime to, I remember in COVID when the locker room discussion started and then like last year, not like in 2024, like the women's national championship was bigger than the men's. And again, we had that, like, that is so much to deal with, like over the course of your 4 years.
These are college kids.
I was such a stupid idiot in college. Like, I can't imagine having to like be in such adult spaces and like holding your emotions and like performing on top of that, no matter how you're feeling. Like, I can't even do that at almost 30 with my job. Like, and I just work a stupid 9 to 5. Like,
and we're fully formed adults and we're still like, stop. Like, think about it. At 22, I couldn't even go to class without breaking down.
Oh my God, I was crying all the time.
But like, they also can't just drink their sorrows away because they're professional athletes.
That's the thing. Like, they don't have the same like letting off steam. Like, they have a rigid lifestyle. Like,
stop shitting on children. You're so weird about it. Like,
yes.
Stop,
oh my God.
Stop.
And did you see, because of like gambling with like college sports, Kansas had to put out a public statement to stop getting in college athletes DMs and like being upset with them. Like, people are like being like, I can't believe you lost that game, you lost me so much money. And I'm like, whoa, I get professional athletes. I still don't think you should DM professional athletes those type of comments, but these are kids. I don't care. Like, 22 is still a child in my mind. Like,
still on
leave
their parents'
them alone.
They're still on their parents' insurance. They cannot rent a car. They cannot get a hotel room on their own. Leave them alone. Leave the kids alone.
Leave them alone. Like, anyway, why are people so mean? But like, I'm amazing that she's talking out, like speaking about it.
Truly.
And like,
she's doing good things.
That.
Absolutely. Okay, 2 more women's basketball things, but these aren't as heavy. A'ja Wilson, she plays on the Aces. She's amazing. She's great.
Are you going to talk about her commercial?
Amazing. She has a shoe brand, right? And she was making a commercial, and it's directed by Malia Obama, and it was such a good commercial. It was so good.
I saw it on TikTok and I watched it 3 times the first time I watched it, because like
it gave me chills.
The like storytelling, like amazing.
It gave me chills. And to partner with an Obama in these times, round of applause, A'ja Wilson. You're fighting the good fight. I will be an Aces fan as long as you're on it.
I also saw creators say, like, before I knew it was Malia Obama, I think the creator is the one who told me. I don't know who this was. I hate that I never remember whose videos I saw, but she was like, a Black person, like, directed this, because a white person could never have this point of view. This is why representation really matters, and having people behind the scenes who actually understand the voices and the, like, story you're trying to tell. Because when you don't do it correctly, you get, like, the Pepsi Kendall Jenner commercial. Like, you have to know the story you're telling, and you really need people who have shared life experiences. And then I kept seeing more and more videos about that, and Malia Obama, like, being the director, and some of it even being inspired by her own life, like that grandma in the church, like turning around and shushing, that was inspired by her grandma.
Oh, it was so good, A'ja Wilson. I'm a fan for fucking life.
It.
I'm so obsessed
oh my
with you.
God, so good.
And last thing is, I found out that there's another love story in the WNBA that I'm obsessed with.
You mean we get another season? We have more characters to add to our story? Tell me more.
Listen. So, Gabby Williams, and this is a French name, so don't at me. Marine Johannes. I know Johannes is how you say the last name. I think the first name is Marine. But they played together overseas in France. And now they both play in the WNBA. Everyone's saying they're engaged. Like, there's no confirmation as far as I can tell, but they are very cute. It's giving private, but not a secret. But when they played on the French team together, the eyes, they're so
are they on the
cute.
same team in the W or different?
Teams.
Okay, so
they're
we still have the like lovers
teams.
being kept apart vibe.
So Marine Johannes is on the Liberty.
Okay.
Let me see. Gabby Williams is on. She's an American French basketball player. Oh, she went to University of Connecticut. That's very fun.
Okay.
A UConn grad. You know we love. She's on Seattle Storm. Wow, different time zones.
I mean, that is as far apart as you can get with having to do a time zone.
God.
That's okay, but we needed a slightly different story that makes it even more complicated.
You're right. So, and she does play on the French team, her girlfriend, wife, fiance, who knows, being French. So they do get to play together sometimes, but not this summer. I got to go to a Liberty Storm game. Ooh, buy the tickets. So yeah, that's very fun. But I saw that, like I said, I don't have a lot of information because I just found them. And like I said, it's giving private, not a secret. And a lot of the announcer stuff, it's in French because like they're French. So yeah, it's hard. But that's
more
very
will
fun,
unravel, I'm sure, as they play.
We can take creative liberties.
True.
We can't be 100% accurate. It's like The Crown.
No,
we just know the big moment.
I think we will have to change enough so then we can't get sued for using their name, image, and likeness. So like,
of course,
it's inspired by a true story,
true events, obviously. But that's all my news. Do you have any more?
I love that. I do actually have. I want to know your thoughts on Bravo announcing 4 new shows that are coming into production here. We're gonna have another Valley show with the old Shaws of Sunset crew.
That's fun.
We're going to have a new Real Housewives, Wife Swap, and I forget what the other one was, but doesn't remember.
I remember. Here's what I have to say. Bravo, though I am excited, asterisk, why have new shows when you can't even manage Summer House Martha's Vineyard?
That's a good question.
Why not bring that back? That's a great show.
Easy breezy, beautiful.
You already have your cast. We already know them. It's a great show. We were obsessed. What are you doing? And you know those housewives of Rhode Island are all going to be white.
I heard somebody from The Bachelor might be on it. Ashley,
Stop. Stop. She's not rich enough to be a housewife. Rhode Island has some rich ass people.
I know. I'm excited for another Housewives. I will never be mad about another franchise of Housewives because I have hope with Salt Lake City. Like, there's opportunity to like make a splash with a new franchise. Like, I'll give them room to be great, but it's a tough business. Like,
I bring up a good point. What? Come on, Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
The Wife Swap show, it's not going to be my vibe. I will never watch that. I'm going to be so honest.
I used to love Wife Swap.
And then The Valley with the Shaws crew, I will be watching that because I loved Shaws of Sunset. I didn't watch it at the end, but I love it's Reza, MJ, and Gigi are back.
MJ, my girl, she got so screwed on the Traitors. Sorry, girl.
Very, very intrigued by that. And then, they announced the shows that they're going to be renewing, and Roni was not on it, so they're kind of being put on ice. They like want to bring them back, but they need to like reconfigure things, like Bravo said, or like an insider said.
I mean, everyone's saying Lindsay Hubbard, get her on.
That's what I'm wondering, if they're like pausing it to try to figure out what to do with some of the cast, and if they can bring in newbies to like make the refresh work, or what. But give me Lindsay, Amanda, Paige. I would love it.
Lindsay as a housewife. I would love it. Okay, any more news?
That's all I had.
Amazing. Okay. I read.
I did back, baby. What'd you read?
I didn't finish the wellness book. I'll get back to that. I just needed to know if I still loved reading or not. So I picked, listen, the only book I want to read is the one Meredith and I are writing on this podcast live. That being said, I was like, let me do research. So there's this book I found I made myself go on a walk. I went to a bookstore and I found the book. And I was like,
I love that.
This is probably going to be a bad book. Let me rent it on my Kindle or buy it or whatever. So I did. I used my library card to rent it. And it was called Cleat Cute. Like meet cute, but with a cleat. And it was about two women on the same soccer team. And I went, let's get inspiration.
I was about to say, this is some research and development for our book.
It was pretty bad.
Okay.
Here's where I think they went wrong. The two soccer players were not friends beforehand. They met when they were on the same team. Which I think I love a friends to lovers. So like that, whatever. It also, the younger player had idolized the older player.
Weird. Like, no, what? I don't like that.
That's weird. I didn't like that. So we won't be doing that. And then the younger player clearly had ADHD. So her chapters were written like that, like someone with ADHD. And then the other character, we don't know this until literally the end. But as I was reading the other characters' chapters, I was like, she has autism. Like the whole time I was like, everything she's describing, like this is autism. And then at the end, when she was researching ADHD on TikTok, she came across autism and she goes, I'll get back to that because that sounds like something I'll need. And I was like,
whoa, this character's like researching things on TikTok in this book?
Yes. I mean, what do we do? I
guess. I don't know. Interesting. Okay.
Whatever. So it was pretty bad. I think we could do better. Here's what I did like, where I think we need to take more creative liberties. Okay. Hear me out. So basically, in this Cleat Cute book, the way they kind of get together is like the younger player is flirting with the older player. The ADHD is flirting with the autism.
Oh, I thought the ADHD person was the person with autism.
No. Separate.
One of
two
each.
Separate. Yeah, well, there's two.
Okay.
Two mental illnesses, walk into a bar.
Okay, those are not mental illnesses.
I know.
First off. But... Wait, autism's older, ADHD's younger?
Yes.
Autism? Sorry to describe them like that, but like, I don't have names.
I forgot their names.
Let's just go older autism, younger ADHD. Yeah. Okay, I got it now.
So older is the one that's been on the team for a long time. Younger idolizes older. So now they're on the same team. They both get to their city early, so they're only hanging out with each other. And the older one, who's been on the team for a while, is like,
has a crush on the younger.
No,
it's the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, because younger idolizes, right?
Yeah.
So younger, big flirt, big personality. Older, a little more quiet, a little more reserved.
Okay.
The younger one starts flirting with the older one. And the older one is kind of like, hey, I'm not a relationship person. I'm not looking to date a teammate. Like, I don't want to. So the younger one is like, that's fine. I respect that. And so she flirts with someone else in front of older, which is fine, whatever. But then older is like, why am I kind of jealous? Which I was like, I'm not mad about that, because in our friends to lovers, right, they could go to college together and let's just say our older, right, our older flirts with younger, but younger is like not having it. So our older is like, to not mess up our friendship, I'm going to flirt with someone else. And that's what our younger
I like the jealous.
Is like.
I like the jealous thing being the trigger for like, I have feelings. I'm in for that.
I like that. And then they can secretly date for a little bit and go through their injuries separately. And then they can be private, but not a secret.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think we adapt that in our creative liberties, because I did like that. But it was weird. They became like friends with benefits, and then it was fine. I don't know. It was whatever. But now then I was like, let me read another book. But I kind of liked them both being athletes. I hate a book where it's like the guy's the athlete and the girls is in the stands. Come on.
Yeah.
Or hockey player and ice skater. Come on.
I know.
So I found this hockey book called Face Off, but they're both professional hockey players, but she's the first woman in the NHL, which I was like, I'm kind of in on that.
Wait, what's the name of that?
Face Off.
Wait, I love this.
So I was like, I kind of like it, right? I will say, it was described though as rivals to lovers. They were never rivals.
Okay.
They are also though 30, which I also liked that. We're older.
Okay.
I mean, professional athletes, they had to go through college, and now they're 30.
Hockey is a little bit later too, because you don't go straight to college.
Yeah, and not only that, but you play at like a lower level and then get pulled up to the NHL.
Yeah,
so in the NHL, which I thought was interesting. So I did like that aspect.
Are they on the same team, or are they different teams?
On the same team. So that's how he is. She has kind of a gender neutral name, so he, as the captain, is tasked to show her around, right?
But
and
he
so
doesn't know.
When he shows up, he's like, "What are you doing here, sweetheart?" And she's like, "Bitch, I'm your new player." the fuck.
I love this.
I wish she would have just hated him a little more. I hate when it's like, we're rivals to lovers, but she's like, but look at his lips
but he's
and
hot.
his chiseled muscle. And I'm like, no, you're supposed to hate him a little.
Like, you can acknowledge he's hot, but you need to come from the, like, lens of he's hot, and so he knows it, and so, like, that pisses me off.
He's annoying. Yeah. Like, you actually have to hate him. And it made me mad that he, too, was like, God, she's going to be, like, such a fucking pain in my ass. But then he was like, but I'd love to fuck her. And I was like, no, hate each other a little. But obviously, they become friends with benefits. I haven't gotten to the part yet where they fall in love, but we all know that's coming. Yes. I will say, though, first off, in this book, some of the dialogue is not 30-year-old dialogue. I was like, ugh, why are we saying this?
It's like cheesy and like high schooler.
Their banter was a little at first. I was like, I don't know. I think maybe now I'm used to it, but I still sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I
get secondhand embarrassment though. I'm like, why are you saying this? I'm like, let's do this.
In our book, we have to have better banter for sure.
I know.
Which will be the hard part. But then the steamy scenes are so crazy. The shit they said to each other, I was like, I'm underage. I shouldn't be hearing this. It was, Meredith, I was reading
Was it good?
Yeah, I mean, it was steamy. Okay. But here's the thing though. If you're going to talk during a steamy scene in a book, right, if you're going to write it out, it can't be like, ooh, like for me to go like, that would never cross my mind to even say. Like, people can't be having this type of sex. That was crazy what they were saying. I was like, yo, woof. And I read a good amount of steam. And I was like, this was crazy.
Oh my God.
Like, she can't want that, is what I kept saying. I was like, there's no way that's enjoyable.
I think books have kind of ruined sex for girls a little bit because guys aren't on the same page about talking during sex. And so then, like, the reality versus the book sex are vastly different now.
No, truly. And also, stop making these men perfect. I understand that's what we want. But, like, reading it, I'm like, you're going to tell me he's a total, asshat the first time they meet, and he's so rich, and he knows he looks good, and he fucks half the city, and he's such a douchebag, but also he's, like, the best uncle in the world, and he gives all of his money to charity, and he knows exactly how to treat a woman in bed, and he has the biggest dick you've ever seen. I'm like, there's no way all those things, like, can coexist.
Yeah, like, the bad thing is that he's kind of a dick, but, like, let's all be honest, that kind of turns everybody on a little bit.
He's also like, so supportive of women in sports. Come on, he has to have a fucking flaw somewhere.
Yes.
If you're going to describe him as such a douchebag, let him be a douchebag.
Especially in, like, enemies to lover type. I'm like, he actually needs to be an annoying person. Like, I think about, like, Nathan Scott and Haley. Like, Nathan was a dick, like, a douche to her. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted. Because they are kind of, like, rivals to lovers in a weird way. Even though they didn't, like, compete against each other. But they were on, like,
opposite sides. Yeah, like, Haley only tutored him because of, like, to, like, let her best friend off the hook.
Yeah, he immediately went from being like, there's no way you play hockey, to being like, don't let me tell you again that you're the best player on our team in, like, the same day. And I was like, no. You're supposed to
you have to underestimate her and say she's not going to help you and be a bad teammate and, like, this is weird. And you're going to, like,
check her
the
a
vibe.
Little bit in practice. Yeah. And I was like, this whatever. So now they're just banging each other's brains out all the time. But some of the stuff, I was like, and it wasn't even like, when you read some smut, you're like, oh, I'm sweating a little. It was so crazy. I was like, logistically, that's insane.
Really?
There's no, what? I was in shock. I think I'm a prude reading this book. I was like, I must be a born again virgin because this is crazy.
Wait, that's so funny.
The shit she said, people don't even say that to their husbands, let alone a fucking stranger. I was like, yo.
Oh my God.
So anyway, that's what I'm reading now. I'll finish it probably this weekend.
I love that. I
got to know what happens. So I'm hoping, this is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping one of them gets injured. I love an injury. I love a sports injury.
Because then, like, one of them gets mad and, like, they'll be kind of be mean to the other just because they're dealing with their own shit. Yep.
There has yet to be conflict since they've started hooking up.
which I hate whenever like a conflict is towards the end of the book, because I really enjoy the like coming back together after a conflict, and I need the conflict to like create a real chasm between them for me to enjoy the like makeup.
Let me say it here. If the conflict is that they both don't know how to tell the other they have feelings for each other, I'm gonna literally lose
or like
it.
That somebody on the team finds out and like now it's like weird. I don't want that.
No. If we're gonna be this crazy in bed, you better give me a crazy drama to go with it. Think One Tree Hill. There better be car crashes. There better be amnesia. There better be question if your baby survived that car crash. We better have a secret dad somewhere. Man, give me the drama. Don't just everything's peaches and cream. Oh no, she flirts with a different boy and now I'm jealous and I'll never admit my feelings. Try again.
I don't want some simple insecurity. I want like
that.
My
We're 30.
Dad is
you can't
my family's like ruining my life and I'm scared to tell you because I have this whole
Stop.
crazy family shit going on. I want like something big.
An injury I think would be
one of them being
fun.
Traded to another team.
Ooh, then they gotta go against each other, and then a teammate injures your significant other. That would be kind of crazy. So, but like the soccer book, there wasn't really any crazy drama. So it wasn't, so I was like, whether they get hurt or not, like, I think this is a fine miscommunication trope. Don't do that here. If you're gonna be this fucking spicy about it, there better be a big blow up coming. I'm already 50% of the way through and there's no blow up. So
that's the thing. I need it at like 60 to 70% because I need the blow up to last for a few chapters. Like I need real conflict.
Yes. See, and I think in our book, them both getting injured, that's going to cause a lot of not animosity, but you're just angrier. Yeah. And so there's going to be a lot of fights, I feel like. And as teammates, I think we got to have some fights as teammates. I think we could add in a little jealousy of like, you stop flirting with another girl.
I agree.
And then you have the I want to be public, but I don't. We could have that drama. I'm just saying, there's a lot of drama we could go with for our book.
I'm in.
For our movie, book, TV show,
well,
we're do I think loosely based off women. The only other thing is it has to be basketball. I don't know any others.
No, I agree. You sent me a voice memo this week saying book, and I realized we should do a book because then we can do the like movie or TV show rights on top of it. Then we can double dip on our earnings here.
Yeah, and I think we need to write the details how we want it instead of having just cringy like dialogue.
I agree.
Because then I was thinking, if it's like The Summer I Turned Pretty, we're all going to go, ew. It's only beloved because there's a book involved.
Yeah.
If that TV show cold dropped, people would be like, the fuck are they talking about? You watched Jeremiah one time and you're like, oh, I hate him. I hate Belly. I hate those characters anyway.
We'll do it better. Looking forward to season 3 of that only because I need to know where it ends up, not
oh my God,
I don't want to see Jeremiah and Belly.
The author said that it might end differently, and I was like, don't do that.
I heard she said that like people will be satisfied with the ending, but I'm like,
but surprised.
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. I swear to God, if Belly is just like, I choose me, I'm going to have a knip shit.
I think she's going to do that, and then the like final scene is going to be the like 40 years from now, because in the book she studies abroad and like she breaks up with Jeremiah. Conrad's still in California. She's not with anyone. She goes and studies abroad and Conrad starts writing her letters. So I think like that's the moment where she chooses herself, but like her and Conrad eventually do get back together. So I don't think we're going to be satisfied with the true ending because the book doesn't even have them like fully together. It's just like a paragraph.
Did you ever watch the Kissing Booth movies?
Oh, yeah. I even read the books.
I feel like it's going to end like, those are books?
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to end like that, where she just like longingly looks at him in her adult life when she has the
thing. And you like make
cut.
Your own conclusion. And it's like,
I don't want that. Just have Jeremiah have to be at their wedding.
That's the thing. I think it's going to end. She's going to be on her own. It's going to flash forward. And the very last scene is like Conrad writing her a letter. And she's opening it at like when she's studying abroad. And that's going to piss me off.
You know what's the saddest part about that show? Is my favorite scenes are the moms. And one of them's dead.
I know.
But I want a spin-off with the moms. My favorite scene in the whole series is when the two moms go to the bar.
A prequel?
Yeah, I want the moms. Them going to the bar together had
in season 1.
I was crying, and I texted my friends from high school. I have 2 really good friends from high school, and I was like, this is how I picture our lives. Like, this is it.
I would love a prequel about them, like, because they met in college, like that, and then, like, them getting together with their husbands and things like that, but how they always came to the summer house.
Oh, I want to see them in college. I want to see them fucking shit up. When they said at the bar in their adult forms, they were like, we used to do this all the time. And I was like, show me.
I
you
want
two
that.
Are the two. I hate when like Belly is like, Mom, you're the worst.
Because they could do the same format where it centers around their summers at the house, and then we get flashbacks to them like meeting in college and like what their life was like during like the off season of summer. Love that idea.
Eat that up. Anyway, are you watching anything?
I haven't really. I mean, I watched like The Valley, but I feel like there was nothing going on.
There was nothing
except for like Jack's rage texting from rehab. You know, just the norm.
It's kind of boring. I started watching that show Battle Camp. I haven't finished it, but
yeah. What do you think?
It's so dumb, dude. But I hate these people.
You sent me a voice memo about Tony crying when Gabby went home. I specifically didn't tell you about that scene.
I think I did. I was at work. I started playing this at work.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I don't have to pay attention to it. It was such a bad idea because I was cracking up at my desk. Like I had to leave.
It's good because it's like bad.
And all that happened was like a girl he's not even dating that he's known for all of 5 minutes.
Who has a boyfriend.
Had to leave because the wheel spun on her name. And then he was sobbing.
And he doesn't know that she voted for him to go home.
That was hilarious. And then the next day he wakes up still so sad. And he's like, I have to go. And he kept sobbing. I kept cracking up. It was
annoying because he was like, I don't want to be in a game where people don't like me and vote for me. Like I would just rather love everybody.
He on the Mole or Squid Games?
I'm gonna remove myself. And it's like, shut the fuck up. I wanted to punch him.
It was so funny. I laughed the whole time. He was so distraught.
Yeah.
He was so sad.
It was gold.
That just shows you have your name one time on that wheel.
I know.
And you're going to get voted out. Who cares? I feel like, okay, because there's now people campaigning to be like, don't put my name on the wheel. Don't vote for me. What's his name? Trey turned against his best friend Louie. Here's my thing. I feel like I would be like, I don't care if you vote for me. At this point, anything could happen. I could be up there once. I could be up there 50 times. At this point, the odds aren't in my favor, but you know, Katniss still got picked for the Hunger Games, so here I am. That's fine. And you don't even have to do anything, but you just leave. Like, that's the thing, is it's not that serious, and this man was sobbing over someone else, not even himself leaving.
I know. Like, you guys are all fine.
I think that's
the prize money isn't even that drastic. It's $250,000.
And if you give me like Big Brother, The Challenge, Survivor, like the way it's built up, I'm like, oh man, life or death if you lose the elimination. This game, I'm like, the wheel spins and you just go home.
It does become super inconsequential. The ending is kind of stupid.
I would be like, vote for. I wouldn't even campaign at that point. Because the other thing is everyone's like, oh, no one's playing with integrity. And I'm like, ugh.
I know.
Oh,
and then because somebody comes in and replaces the team, it's not even that big of a deal if you lose someone on your team. You're like, all right, on to the next.
Yeah, they're in 2 teams now, which I was like, that's fine.
Yeah. That gets a little bit better with the like strategy, I'll say, because I think the red team was like, all we have to do is just get everybody on that team to go against somebody on their team, and so that way nobody on our team gets up there. And I get that mentality. You're like, because
there's no more replacements.
Yes.
Yeah. Which fine. It just seems so inconsequential. And also like the host at first, I was like, ooh, hot man. He's weird, dude.
Yes.
He's a weirdo. I don't like him.
He starts to make it seem like it's life and death. I'm like, bro, it's not that serious. Get your little mustache and vest out of here.
I hate when he starts like making it bigger than it is, or like trying to get people to talk about their feelings. And I'm like,
at the wheel, he's always like, how do you feel about that?
How do you feel about that?
What?
I can't take it seriously. I like don't care about these people. But yeah, I mean, I like his name, Chase. He just showed up.
Chase,
from Too Hot to Handle. He's a terrible man. I can't wait to see him play a little dirty. I hope he does. I'm rooting for him because in this game, given he's only been on dating shows and he's been terrible on those, which I don't like. Mm-hmm. But if he's terrible on this show, I root for that. I want to see a little gameplay. So I'm hoping he sticks around because everyone else is like, train his best friend. Who cares?
Oh my God. They won't get over that, Alicia. They literally talk about it constantly. They're always like, I don't trust him. He betrayed his best friend. I'm
Why
like,
are you trusting anyone in this game?
He didn't vote his best friend out. All he said was like, hey, please don't vote for me. I would do that to you, Alicia. If it's between you and me, I'd be like, don't vote for me. That's self-preservation. I'm not going to go like try to get people to vote you out if I'm not in the way.
Also, stop trusting people. I can't trust them. You should trust anyone. There's only one winner. There's one winner. You cannot trust anyone.
I get wanting to trust like your people, like Georgia and Lorenzo are like besties. But at the end of trust the day, that one person. But why do we need to trust everyone here? Everybody acts like we all need to be friends.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, at some point, Lorenzo and Georgia will have to go against each other. So like, if it's Alicia, against me versus you at any point,
you're gonna be pissed at how the final thing plays out. Both like how. The structure of how the like winner is decided annoyed me, but then like also in the actual it happening, I'm like, shut the fuck up, you people.
I bet everyone cries. It's gonna drive me nuts. The stakes cannot be that big, okay? Because when you watch reality TV, a lot of times you have to remember like the music is not normally in it. So for us, the stakes seem higher. These stakes are so low. I can't imagine being at the summer camp. I'd be like, it literally doesn't matter.
No, it's so stupid. Matter. The one thing I do like that I think would be fun to be on the show is their little like huts or whatever they're sleeping.
Oh, I love the hut.
I love every night that they're like Shuby's like going to bed. He's like, night, guys.
Yeah, they have like pillow talk on their individual huts.
Yeah.
Poor Shuby, man. Everyone loves him, but he's the cutest, but he's getting picked last. He misspelled the word, and everyone was like, he did it on purpose, and everyone was like, no, I think he's just Shuby.
Something. Yeah. It was ecosystem, and he thought it was ecosystem.
Yeah, that's rough. And listen, he was scared. I get it, but yeah, I love how everyone's like, if Shuby was a little dirtier of a player, he could really kill this game, but he's not. He's just so nice. I don't know. So that's where I am. So I'm watching that.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of Housewives of Orange County.
How's
We're
that?
getting through that. It's fine. I've met Brooks. I've met Vicky's boyfriend, Brooks. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Is Megan King Edmonds on it yet?
No.
Okay.
I met Brooks and I've met Heather Dubrow, who I love. I love Heather.
Fancy pants. I love her.
I love her and her husband. Are they still together? Can you spoil for me?
Yes, they're still together.
I really like them together. I think they're a hoot. I think Heather Dubrow is so funny. They even had for a second, I thought I was going to hate the husband because I really liked him. And then Heather Dubrow was like, I'm going to go back to work. And the husband was like, what's going to happen to our family then? And I was like, if he fucking prevents her from working. But then he's like, listen, if you need 12 nannies, we'll do that. If you need me to move to Canada with you, I'll do that. I was like, I know. Give me this man.
He's so amazing. And their conflicts are like, at some point they'll build a new house and all he wants is like onion rings at their like new housebreaking party thing that they throw. And she's like, onion rings. And it's like, that's their conflict.
I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah.
I hope Heather Dubrow graces my screen forever. I'm actually such a big fan of hers.
Okay, in modern day, she is also so amazing. She has one child who is trans and two children. She has 4 children total, I believe. And one is trans and one is gay and one is bi. And she is so outspoken, so welcoming. She's constantly talking about it. She this is a spoiler for you, but she takes a break from Real Housewives of Orange County, but comes back and so she can showcase her family and show people that there's families who do love you out there, even if your own doesn't. It is so pretty. One. Yeah.
I love when
she
I
is
pick
like
a good one
so
and it
rich,
stays
but I
good.
love that she just like loves what she loves. She has taste.
Yeah.
She's not gonna apologize for it.
She's
and like
so funny about it too. She's like, these women don't eat carbs. I guess we'll never eat carbs again. And she just hires a chef and is like, don't have any carbs. And I'm just like, no, she's so funny. These women argue and she's like, the fuck is wrong with everyone? She came at, what's her nuts? Not Gretchen. Who's Gretchen's friend whose name escapes me? Oh, Alexis.
I don't know.
Jesus Jugs.
Jesus Jugs.
She comes at Jesus Jugs, but very calmly, she's like, don't talk shit on my husband. And Jesus Jugs is like freaking out about her nose job.
Heather is good at fighting because she's above all these women, in my opinion.
Above all these women. And she knows it.
She's classier than them. She has more money. She has a supportive husband. Like, she has everything that these women want. And so then, like, Heather doesn't give a shit what's going on, but she'll always just voice her opinion so calmly, and it just cuts like ice.
I'm so happy. Finally, I've picked a housewife that I'm not going to stop loving, I bet. Oh, thank
she
God.
has her moments where you're like, Heather, you're like so full of yourself, and it's hard to watch because she's so rich. Like, that's what's hard sometimes is I think I could do it that. Does grate on me a little bit, but that's the thing is I'm like, I'm not rich.
Yeah, I think I could do that. I think I'm okay. It's when you like do bad things that I'm like, I don't know. Like it's hard because I enjoy watching Tamra, but I know I hate her in real life. I know. So that one's hard. Vicky, I love watching Vicky, dude, but I know in real life she kind of sucks. So that's another hard one. But again, Vicky's family is kind of great. Like,
they're entertaining. Here's the thing. Vicky's the type of person who put it all out there, and she will show everything. Her family will give everything. Like, I see Tamra and I'm like, I don't respect your decisions. I don't respect your life. I don't like how you attack things. I think you're so rude. Vicky, I think, just like will do anything for love, and she ruins her own life first and foremost, and slightly ruins other people's. But she like just wants to be loved. She wants her love tank full.
Her love tank full.
You end up feeling bad for her. Vicky only bothers me towards the end because she becomes a little elitist about that she's the OG of the OC. And I'm like, babe, like this, it's like how Jax thought like Vanderpump was his show.
He's number one.
She kind of becomes like that. And I'm like, hey, this is a show. It isn't just about you.
Listen. And like, I know I'm going to hate Brianna because she's fucking terrible MAGA, but listen,
oh my God, that does make sense. I never really thought about it.
Yeah, but I do like Brianna on the show. I have to say, though, the Don divorce hit me harder than I thought. I knew they were getting divorced, but like listening to Brianna and Michael talk about it really kind of hit me because both of them were like, listen, we don't have a relationship with our real dad. Don was the person, because I always felt, and I told you this, that the kids didn't really care about Don, and I felt bad for him because he seemed to really love the kids. But then when the divorce happened, both Michael and Brianna were like, Don was the guy that raised me, and like, I'm sad. Brianna didn't talk to her mom for a little bit. She was so upset. And then Michael was like, our relationship won't change. Like, I'm still going to see Don. And Brianna had Don over at her apartment. They like cracked some beers open with her cancer or not cancer. I don't know, the lymph nodes. But I was like, that melts my little
Brooke
heart.
Stuff is about to be real interesting.
Yo, that dude's weird. That's how I feel.
I know.
Eddie, though, I do weirdly like.
I like Eddie.
I
like Eddie a lot.
Eddie yet.
He's a good house husband where like he won't really get into stuff, but if he gets into because let's be honest, sometimes the husband do get kind of like dragged into it, whether it's their own wife or other wives. He always handles it well.
Yeah, I did just watch the scene where Vicky and Eddie were touching too much, so Tamra grabbed Brooks's hand and put it on her boob, and that caused a really big fight. And I was like, "This is crazy." So. Tamra's kind of crazy, but I hate Jesus Jugs. I hate her. First of all, she recently said on an episode I watched that women shouldn't be president, which I see the way she voted. I hate her. She's also very Christian. She's one of those Christians that probably hates the Pope.
Okay, she has come back to she has either a trans kid or a gay kid. So, like, she is a little bit more liberal.
No way.
Yeah. Like, her and Heather, like, went to GLAAD Awards together. So, like, she has boomeranged back into normalcy. I mean, she's psychotic in real day still.
I
like,
would
she's
have
still
never
herself.
guessed that would have been fine for her.
And I don't think her husband is supportive.
Her husband sucks. Oh my God, do I hate that man? And then I hate Gretchen and Slade. Oh, yuck, man. Gretchen, sometimes I'm like, it's fine. Do I hate Slade, though? That's a weirdo for sure. Yuck.
I wonder what season are you on? I wonder if you're going to catch up by the time the next season comes out. Oh, there's a lot out there.
7.
There has to be like 18 or 19.
It always depends how many meetings I have at work.
Oh, yeah.
If I have a clear day and I'm in, because I only watch it in the office too, because when I'm home I can do like other things and watch whatever.
Yeah.
But I only have Peacock on my phone, so I can only watch The Housewives when I work. So I only watch that. And if I have a clear day in the office, I could get through at least 5 episodes.
Boom. Yeah.
But if I have meetings in between and then it's like, how do I get back in this? So I've been slow lately. But yeah, those are the Housewives I'm watching right now. And it's
love that.
Have you been watching the Karen retrial?
I've kept in touch with a little bit of it, but I haven't been watching it on like court TV at this point. I'm going to wait till the defense's case starts, but I've been seeing it through TikTok.
Yeah. Her lawyer's still killing it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. As I would have mean.
I mean,
what's
there's
her name?
just like,
Jennifer McCabe, the new clown of the world.
She was
new clown.
Like at the end of last week, she was on the stand and stuff, and a maniac per usual.
Rough out there, huh? For Jennifer McCabe and her Boston accent. Do I love? I told my mom about this case. She hadn't heard of it. I was like, Mom,
I got my dad into it. He obviously cares a lot about it because he's a lawyer and stuff, but I updated him when I saw him last week.
My mom, of course, she can't help it. She was like, but how do you know she's innocent? And I was like, Mom.
You're like, let me tell you all the psychotic things.
I thought the police got through all the corruption. Mom. Stop this.
If I gave her like my TED talk on how this is also connected to another case where there's a lot of police corruption and then all the videos that have gone missing, like the deep dive I've done, your mom would be like, yes, I'm on board.
I think it's funny because my mom, if a woman gets murdered ever, she immediately goes, it's probably the husband. Like she is that woman. But then immediately I'm like, police corruption. And she's like, no, police. And I'm like, you're literally a woman of color who's about to get deported. Like, get it together.
I wonder if she like just doesn't want to believe in bad police, which I get people who are like that. Like you don't want to believe that society is like in such a terrible place.
I don't think she wants to. And I also think, though her parents are like from Guatemala, my mom was like born, raised in the US, and she grew up in a very white area similar to me and had like a lot of white friends. And I feel like she just became kind of like not a white girl, but like, she fit in.
Well, you want to fit in. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm guilty of that too. I did it, but then, I think 9/11 was a big contributor for people to start looking at skin, as far as people our age, to start looking at skin color. And then it got more prevalent, more talked about in our generation. I was just naturally a little more aware of it than I think my mom growing up ever was. And I think she does want to believe like the police can help, like she's never
They're the good guys. They're to help
with the police. Yeah. She works in schools, right? She wants to believe the people who are hired to do good.
Yeah.
And I respect and appreciate that. But I'm like,
you're like,
not me.
This
Did I tell
happen.
you, my parents want, my brother has autism. This is the type of autism he has. He loves public service workers. He loves fire people.
I wonder if that influences them then. Like,
probably. He loves a police officer. If my brother ever got screwed by one, his world would shatter. So you better not. But he supports the local police, which our local police isn't doing much. There's not crime where I grew up. But he put a sign in our driveway. He went to like an open house and he put a sign in our yard that said like, we support the police. But it was like in 2020. And I literally was like, no. Mom.
You're like,
it did say the local. It said like our town.
I know,
police.
but still you're like, we are becoming the people who are like, back the blue when...
I know. I went back to my parents' house and I said something to my parents and my mom was like, but it's not like that. And I go, no, I know it's not. But here's the thing. It's like that for other people. And she goes, but anyone who knows us. And I go, no, again, I get that. I am not doubting
the
that.
people who don't.
So I literally would just make comments all the time. I'd be like, I'm going to literally take a huge shit on that sign. Like, get it out of the driveway.
You should have gotten a Black Lives Matter sign and just put it next to it.
My brother was like, please don't take down the sign. Eventually, because my brother is very involved in the news as well. He's very educated. He also doesn't have a college degree, but he is very educated. He pays attention. And I think at some point he started seeing what was happening.
He knew what the sign
and he was like, can we bring the sign inside my room? And I was like, that's great.
We love that. We love that.
It took a few months. I think he did it at some point just to piss me off because I was like, the sign is driving me nuts. And he was like, yeah. God. But he eventually learned.
Yeah.
Because he is very, very liberal. My dude has been trained well. He's
we don't train men though. I guess brothers and moms can train sons, and we can train brothers.
He grew up with me. He knew. He is a feminist king. Let me tell you, he'll always stick up.
Man,
anyway,
well, are you listening to anything?
Weirdly, no. A lot of music, a lot of SZA actually.
Remember
when I was listening to the basketball playlist? It got me on SZA, and so I've just been listening to a lot of SZA lately.
That's
what are you listening to?
Nothing. I don't even think I've been listening to any podcasts recently. I need to get into it because I think if I go walk outside, I will like listen to things.
You want to know what I want to listen to?
What?
The Amy Poehler podcast.
Yeah. I told you I listened to the one with Hannah and Paige and it was good. So I want to, and my therapist recommended it. So I do want to get into that.
I really want to. I just haven't been on any walks lately where I was feeling a podcast. I was feeling SZA, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
But I do, if there is a podcast, I want it to be the Amy Poehler one because I love her. And she's just so good. Oh, actually, weirdly enough, because I only care about women's basketball now. I don't know if you know Flau'jae Johnson. She's a LSU basketball player. Mm-hmm. She has a I don't know if it's a podcast or just like a show. It's called Best of Both Worlds because she's also a musician, y'all. She's the most marketable person ever.
I think you mentioned this.
Did I mention her podcast or show or whatever?
I think that she's a musician.
Oh, maybe. But she interviews people. She's really good.
Oh, wow.
She's like a really, I want her to have a talk show. You know how some people just make people feel really, comfortable and, you could tell?
It's easy for people to open up.
She reminds me of an Amy Poehler where you love it and it makes your guests feel comfortable and you both laugh and you both discuss things, but you're finding out information. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I listened to a little of her when I was working today.
I love that.
Her show. Yeah, great. That's it. Great. We did it.
Hip hip hooray.
I didn't say any of the things at the beginning, I realized. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Patreon, rate, review, subscribe. All the links are in our description. And with that, love you.
Thanks for joining. Bye.